So hi there, Geoff Coughlin, editor Scale Modelling Now. So welcome to this inbox browse where we're going to look at the new release from Airfix in 48 scale, the Bristol Bulldog Mark II. Very eagerly awaited this one. I've certainly been looking forward to it for a while now. And here it is. So here we are in May, no, actually it's right at the beginning of June 2024, just to give you some idea of context. So let's have a look at the parts and what we have got in the box. Of course, initially we've got this nice newer grey plastic, which is great. Surface detail, I have to say, looks superb from what I can see already. I mean, just check out the very, very fine sort of ribbing effects we've got going on here. More sort of fine detail on the underside of the upper wing here. Neat location holes for struts, that kind of thing, which is always going to be a big bonus. Don't worry about some odd little bits of raised plastic which you can see around these strut holes. You just need to remove those. They're just, I think, ejection pin marks. The wheels, main wheels over here, slightly oddly, they come moulded in halves, which is, well, I don't know, say slightly, for such thin tyres and wheels, it seemed a little bit odd to me, but that's no problem at all. Separate rudder, you can see over in the back there, which is great. And also check out that very nice sort of looking grille, radiator grille we've got here on the top. Or oil cooling grille, whatever it happens to be. Separate cylinder heads here, which are good. They're also very nicely moulded with some good detail too. Other sort of smaller details which you can see over here. Also these lovely little wind devices and other sort of instruments that sit on above the wing. Lots and lots of small detail, very, very finely moulded instrument panel, which you can see over here. We've got some decals to go in those for the dials, which is great. Another fuselage, I think that's been done very nicely. We've got some metallic front end you can see here, and then the sort of fabric rear to that, which is really good. Let's flipping that over. Decent two-blade prop, again, which you can see over here. Separate lower section to the rear fuselage, which is also neat, and then the internal framing, which of course you can see here. One little thing I spotted, which I thought was a bit odd, was that if you look at the windscreen here, it is actually what appeared to be, I thought this might have been a short shot, because it seems to be smaller on the left side, port side, than it does on the right. But I'm not sure that's actually true. I think, well, it is true. That's what we've got, but I think it's supposed to be like that. Looking at the recesses moulded into the fuselage, they do seem to be, you can see those here, they do seem to be at slightly different positions and sizes. Just seems a strange thing, strange design feature of the aircraft, if in fact that's correct. So obviously we'll have a little look at that later, but it does look as if it's been moulded correctly. And so hopefully that will be accurate. Check out the decals, got these beautiful cartograph decals here, really nice looking decal sheet. 3 options. You've got Royal Australian Air Force aircraft, which is option C. Just pull this back here. So it's slightly more subdued, I suppose, in the sense of its markings and sort of coloration. Then we've got some slightly more flamboyant scheme, shall we say, number 17 Squadron with the old zigzag upper wing markings and fuselage sides as well. Or you've got number 3 in their familiar green markings here, which you've got and you can see. So your choice to decide which of those you want to finish the model in. And then coming to the instructions, I think this is a really useful instruction booklet. It does include just Humbrol reference numbers. So in fact, what I did, which might be useful, I did in fact just look up what each of the colours is, in fact. So the colour reference numbers, which are all Humbrol references, are there, and that's what they equate to. Because they're not all mentioned anywhere else. So there's some included in the paint guide, but not all. Construction looks pretty straightforward. You build up the sort of tubular assembly for the internals, and then that kind of slots into the fuselage. And then you can start attaching wings and other details like the like the cylinder, parts of the cylinders and locations for the engines. You've got some other small parts here. They suggest these going on now. I'm not so sure I'd add those now. I'd probably wait and add them later on in the build, but your choice. Again, I'm sure that's fine. Options to offset the control surfaces. And then again, you get these really helpful diagrams, multiple diagrams, actually showing you how the struts locate, positioning and how everything should look. So I'm confident that that should all work out okay. Then of course you've got all the engine there, which you can see, which makes up into a very decent replica, I think, of the real thing. So that's nice to see. Again, I would think you could get a lot of the painting done before you actually started to install that, and of course the propeller and all of those sorts of things, like little bomblets here that you could add on afterwards. Yeah, here we are. Here's a picture of that windscreen, in fact, and it does look like it is correctly designed and moulded, so that's an encouraging feature. And then, in fact, you've got a few pages of rigging diagram, which does give you a very clear indication about where these rigging straps and wires need to go. So my suggestion is, if you want to add rigging, and I certainly would in 48 scale, then just follow these closely. Have a really good look. Look at some pictures of the real thing. Look at the box art, which is excellent, of course. And I think it'll become very clear what needs to go where. You get a device on which holes to drill out as well, which are marked, which is also great. So there we go. That's Airfix's new Bristol Bulldog Mark II in 48 scale. I think it looks absolutely superb, and we're certainly going to be building one or more for scale modelling now. So come and check this out soon.